Seedling, and you were watching Gardener Gone Wild. I am Gardener Gone Wild, and this is, well, the Gardener Gone Wild YouTube channel. So,
and you've got vegetation on your teeth.
Of course, because vegetation behind us is rather delicious. It's just nibbling away at some of this mustard over here. Good, healthy, cruciferous vegetable, full of spiciness, mustardiness, and tastiness.
Great to use in salads, and also
For eating.
You can cook it up with other greens for a little bit of spiciness.
And it fills your heart. Nose. And nose full of spiciness. So yeah, when you're exhaling, just be careful. The initial breath feels like you're exhaling mustard gas. So, to a task at hand. Remember the gardens that we placed that nice fresh compost in? Someone has decided to place some not so nice soil in. Soil that has concrete, sand, plastic, and probably a myriad array of various seeds of all sorts of vegetation types that would not be conducive in this garden. So I'm just going along and trying to do the best I can, but finding all sorts of fragments. And you just see how light and insipid the soil is. As you see, it's had all sorts of plants growing in it recently. Normally I wouldn't be too fussy, but when I've just placed really good stuff in it, why? There's compost bins. They exist for a reason.
Right, so these are the seedlings we've got to plant. So first of all we have spinach, spring onions, rainbow beet, which is basically silver beet. Well, it's chard, rainbow chard, pak choy, and some more silver beet. So
if you want to classify these plants into categories for growing, what we should really do is split up our beets. So we'll grab our beets, so our spinach, silver beet, and obviously rainbow beet. And obviously beets originate from various interesting coastal beets, which are obviously found on the coast of Britain and Europe, and they often prefer a slightly more alkaline growing position. So obviously if you're on a neutral soil like we are, you know, I've had it tested, it's basically sand, 6.5 pH, so near neutral, so you can grow all sorts. Also if you're on like a more alkaline soil, like so chalk or limestone, beets can often be better than other crops because obviously, you know, they like it slightly alkaline, and if you've already got alkaline soil, you work with that. Anyway, enough of soil nerding. And obviously we have alums, which you keep away from your legumes, like broad beans, so you wouldn't plant those with broad beans. And we have our brassicas, our cruciferous vegetables, and they like being with the onions, they like being with the legumes, but obviously you wouldn't have all three together because the legumes and onions rather dislike each other.
Or as here, you could have the pak choy growing
in front of the broad beans, and then you could actually have the onions in front of those. So it'd be like the brassicas would be like sort of a buffer, and it means the brassicas have two sets of friends to party along with and have a great time.
Party!
Woohoo! Party! So currently we have spaced out the pak choy, or at least that is what it says on the packet, but I'll just stick with brassica or a cruciferous vegetable. And yeah, I'm just going along, just digging them and placing them in a hole. A hole. See, we're not exactly the most robust specimens, that's why I'm being a bit what do you say? Delicate or fiddly or diddly? So yeah. Does this warrant a retake?
No!
Okay, so I'm not sure if there's an established scientific link between cruciferous vegetables and burping, but anyway, I believe that was induced by that mustard. Obviously, as you might have noted, I was eating the rather large leaves, and of course the large leaves have a higher concentration of the compounds that result in that, well, famous mustardy taste, the legendary special type of spiciness unique to the cruciferous family of plants. And while I was blabbing on about that, and while the camera wasn't rolling, we have made a fair bit of progress in the planting, and I'm now just touching up the last little bits, and all the spacing's been done. So yes.
And then all that needs doing is watering.
Of course, which we'll probably need to do plenty of, because even though it's apparently winter here, at least I think it is, yeah, just we haven't had the rains.
It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I can feel it in the air.
Yeah, even then, how much is actually going to water these beds? That's a big question.
Well, remember on the weather forecast, it had a big black cloud.
Oh, a black cloud. We hope we get a black cloud. That'd be cool if we get a black cloud.
And then on Saturday, it's the grey cloud with rain. So
grey clouds often don't amount to much.
Yeah, but yeah, black cloud with rain.
Depends on, of course, if we get a good front of low pressure, which I do feel the barometric pressure is probably dropping, but even then, will it actually bring the required
precipitation?
Precipitation! That's a word. I became a little bit tongue-tied at that moment.
So it's looking good, and here is the other bed, which we have planted the pak choi and
these spring onions.
Spring onions. So and of course a couple of rainbow chard, just because it will look pretty. And we hope, what we are planning to do is planting some radishes in here. So they will grow nicely with the spring onions and the pak choi, and also a nice quick crop. So looking good.
So as you can see, I'm splashing water about. You've got a watering can that is somewhat awkward to use. You use an oscillating motion. It's like the latest high-tech oscillating water device.
Woo! And around the edges,
we have coffee grinds.
Yes, we've put coffee grinds right round the edges to deter the slugs and snails, because they really do not like it.
Nice. Good amount of organic acids and obviously caffeine, as well as various other interesting compounds that come from the spent wastes of the coffee bean. And although many doubt, its importance, others potentially overstate it. But nevertheless, it still has a role as a deterrent of some degree for various little slimy mollusks.
As well as cats and dogs.
Yeah, and rats.
Yes, they really don't like it. Actually, birds don't either.
No. Oh, they'll dig in eventually if you put it all over the place. I know that from experience, but yeah.
But that is the garden beds.
Yes.
All done. And looking pretty.
Okay, so as you might know, this episode is about to end. So of course I'd like to thank you for watching, and we of course hope that you subscribe and like this video and this channel, because well, what else do we want you to do? And also remember, if your watering can does not have a rose, use an oscillating motion, that way you don't harm your seedlings. And for now, that's all that there is at Gardener Gone Wild for this episode. So, that's me, Gardener Gone Wild. Thank you for watching, and that is the end of this episode.
Yes, and just remember to please eat your veggies because they are yummy.
Especially those cruciferous mustards.
Yay!
Definitely. You filmed And that is how you flood your mint plant with water.